All right, what is up, everybody? Shout Scout 0013 here, coming in with a video on Sabine. And I know that I don't play Rebels that often, but I think that there are a lot of very fun lists with Sabine in there. And now that you can fit a ton of different characters in the list with her, it makes her even better. So first, I just want to say that the giveaway for these amazing tokens are still going on. These things are the best order tokens in the galaxy. Comscan has put a lot of effort into these. Basically, they're made from a solid material weighing about 12 grams each, giving you a satisfying weight. The graphics are printed in high definition on a vinyl substrate and laminated before durability, basically meaning that they're waterproof, easy to clean, and there's nothing to worry about if you spill it on them. And they really are some high quality tokens. Like, I just cannot recommend them enough. And even just in general, Comscan's order tokens. So head on over to Comscan's Etsy, use Shadow Scout for an extra 10% off. The giveaway for it is still going on. Head on over to the Discord where you can meet like-minded people and talk about Legion. If you've got list ideas and you need help with a list, or if you need recommendations or whatever it is, you can head on over to any of these different channels to talk about your lists or list ideas. If you're heading to a tournament, if you like painting, feel free to kind of post everything that you're painting here and what you're doing. It's really cool to see. So yeah, show off all of your work and what's going on. But that's really it. Now we'll go ahead and talk about Sabine. So Sabine is 5 health and 2 courage. So still a decent courage for an operative. 2's a little low, but it's okay. She surges offensively and defensively, surges to crit. She's speed 3. She's got a single rainbow that she can use in melee up to range 2. That is Pierce 1. She's got jump 2 as an action, so that she can clear hurdles up to height 2, basically. Gunslinger, so she's going to be shooting her pistol twice, or basically once at 2 different units. She's impervious, which helps her a lot against Pierce, and she is nimble, so she's going to be able to spin a dodge and then keep that one dodge. So very simple for a command card, or not a command card, but for a unit card. So if you're wondering what upgrades to usually give on her, there are a lot of new upgrades to put on her. So I'll go over a few that really could make sense if you wanted to try her in different ways. So endurance could be good because she's only courage 2 if she's going to be getting a shot a lot, but there are a lot of other better stuff, but that is something that you could try. Mission objective, I think, is amazing. Now, you don't have to spend an aim for Pierce, but if you're trying to move and you don't really have an aim and you need something that's kind of cheap, then mission objective is very good. Because there could be 2 units that are on an objective, and maybe you roll, you miss the white dice, or you miss the red dice, or you miss the black dice, and one of them, it doesn't really matter, and you don't have a name because you moved and shot. Well, now you don't have to worry about it. You just re-roll one since they are contesting a POI. With Pierce, that is, and surging to crit, it's definitely a very strong thing for her to have. So I think mission objective is really good. On the hunt, unless I wouldn't necessarily do offensive pusher on the hunt. Only reason being with on the hunt, you're trying to go after core units mostly with her. She could try to stall a force user if she's got the Darksaber, which we'll go over in a second. As long as they don't have force push, she could survive, and she could do really well. But she's going to do more damage to probably core units or special forces than she would and a commander or force user, I should say. Other commanders, she's going to do great with. But, the offensive push is going to require you to recover to get that aim. On the hunt, it's going to require you to target a unit with multiple health and already have a wound. So mission objective is probably going to be better for that 6 points. Seize the initiative could be good if you've got a ton of different commander operatives. Situational awareness used to be the best on her, and now there's other options that could really go well. So situational awareness is okay. I think that mission objective is still better than situational awareness on her. Strike team leader, she is an operative, so she does get to use it. But if you bring Clan Wren, which you're more than likely going to do, then you already have a unit with retinue and can provide backup to her, so it's not necessarily needed on her. Tenacity could be okay if you're really planning on getting her into melee. And up close personal is probably the first or second best, competing with mission objective, because with Gunslinger, she's going to do 2 different attack actions, which means that she'll gain 2 dodges. So up close personal could be really, really good, especially with nimble. So when you use them, you're going to keep them. So I would say up close personal is the best, mission objective second best, or they're really competing for the top 2, and maybe situational awareness and seize when it calls for it. It's a specific time that you would probably use it. For gear, there's a lot of different options that you could do for that. So I think that the Electro Grappling Line for 5 points is absolutely amazing, because you're basically going to give 2 immobilized tokens and 2 suppression to a unit. So any force user that is coming towards you and or that has force push, you can definitely keep them in melee with you. They can probably force push you out, but then they're going to be stuck there unless they have burst, and they would only be speed 1. But the Electro Grappling Line, I think, is one of the best to absolutely put on her and glue it on there, because it's so good. Now, that would pair very well with extra supplies, because then you can ready 1 of this unit's non-force upgrades. So you'd be able to ready the Electro Grappling Line without having to recover. And then maybe they've gone first and attacked you, and now basically the immobilize is gone. Well, now you used extra supplies. You go ahead and ready the Electro Grappling Line again, and you don't have to recover. Then you can just aim and, punch, or you can do the immobilize again to keep them there, and then you disengage for your first action, and then you play the bombs, and then you do another speed 1, and they're stuck there, and so you blow up the bombs. So the extra supplies, I think, is really good on her, especially combined with Electro Grappling Line. Prepared supplies is also really, really good, because she's going to have a free dodge that she can have whenever she needs it. And with nimble, again, makes it last that entire round. So 5 points is worth it for that whole round to have a dodge. The combat shield is 5 points as well. And during the end phase, if this unit did not flip any active shield tokens this round, you can flip it back to being active. So if you used it in round 1, and then you don't use it round 2, round 3 you'll have it back, because it's SO, and then you can recover to recharge it back, and that'll kind of cancel your crits. So if you want to do that, you can even pair that with extra supplies again and ready the combat shield, so that you have it 2 turns in a row without having to recover. But I think the Electro Grappling Line and extra supplies are the best combination. The combat shield is good, but I feel like a dodge is almost just as good. Even though it won't cancel a crit, it's still going to be worth it to have, just to cancel any high velocity. So if you're playing against high velocity, then Sabine's shield will be great to have. And you get to choose 2 of these. So it used to be Grappling Line and Combat Shield, then Electro Line and the Prepared Supplies. Now with extra supplies, you've got a whole bunch of options. And she has a Darksaber, which is 5 black, surging to crit, impact 1, pierce 1, and immune to melee and dauntless. So anytime she is suppressed, she can still make a move, take a suppression, and take a move. So that way she can still get in range of something, and then she can swing. She can take that suppression, move to somewhere safe, and then recover if she needed to. And then being immune to melee pierce is great against any of the force users again. So if she had to go up against a force user, being immune to that melee pierce and having surging red defense dice does make her really good. But again, if they have force push, they're just going to move right on out unless you do the Electro Grappling Line. So when I said earlier that she's best against Special Forces and Core, I mean, yes, but she can hold herself if you bring the Darksaber with her for an extra 5 points, which, I mean, why not? It's 5 points. I think it used to be like 15 or something like that. Yeah, it used to be 15, and now it's 5. So much better. Much, much better. So that's Sabine. If you take a look at her command cards, She's got Explosions, which is so during the round in which this card was played, Sabine's going to gain Arm 2, Thermal Charge. And the Thermal Charge is an area of attack, or it's basically like everyone in range 1. I think I said that right. Yeah, area weapon. Blast, so no cover. Critical 2. So if you get 2 surges, at least you're getting crits. It's a red and a white. You can blow them up whenever you want. It's not just the turn you play it. So that's what the permanent tells are for. After Sabine makes this action of throwing them out, she can make a free speed 1 move. And until the end of the game, she's going to gain Detonate and do not discard this card from play. So what you would do is, like I said earlier, you could Electro Grappling Line, withdraw as the action. And then, actually, no, I guess I'd scratch that. You won't be able to do that because it's an action for the grappling line. And I think that's what I was looking at. Yeah, it's an action, not a free action. So you wouldn't be able to withdraw. So everyone who's already commenting, I know, I'm sorry, I know. You would have to basically detonate on yourself because you're in melee, so you won't be able to do it. Unless you decided to just forego the Electro Grappling Line, withdraw, arm, make that free move, get out of there. So that's the best thing to do. But at least, with extra supplies, you've got lots of options. So, yeah, this card's really good because it's going to hit everybody. And so if everyone's on a POI and you arm 2 of them, that's like maybe 3 units, you're rolling it 6 times, basically. So super, super nice. That's her best card. Sabine Wren is going to be able to recover at the start of her activation. When this round, Sabine Wren's going to gain the following free action. You can place a graffiti token within range 1 and line of sight of Sabine, touching a piece of non-area terrain, basically spray painting a wall, and it's going to allow your units to roll 1 extra dice when rolling for suppression, and it's going to force your opponent to roll 1 less dice when rolling for suppression. That is her little token. It's okay, but again, there are better cards to play for a 2-pip, especially when you're bringing her with a whole bunch of other people. The Legacy of Mandalore is also a really good one. She's going to gain Inspire 1 this round, and then each time Sabine Wren issues an order to a commander, operative, or special forces unit this round, she is going to gain an aim or dodge. So this is perfect reason why you don't necessarily have to have situational awareness, but if you have up close and personal, she's going to gain a lot of dodges. And if you have mission objective and you gain an aim or multiple dodges, then you don't have to have that aim. But yeah, it's really nice to get Sabine 3 tokens because she's issuing an order to herself. She's an operative, so she gets an aim or dodge. And then hopefully you're giving it to Clan Wren, which is going to give you another aim or dodge. And then maybe you give it to whatever commander you have, so that way they can go first and start handing out dodges. Yeah, this is another good card. So 1 and 3 pip are probably the ones you're always going to bring. 2 pip, it's okay. If that's all you've got, getting the free recover action to, if you brought her shield and the Electro Grappling Line, she's going to free recover those back. Okay, so let's go over a few lists. I created a few, and Grant and Canadian Bear, Graham also created a list. And it was really hard to choose which ones to go, but I try to get as many different types of lists as possible, so I'm just going to try to go over them all as fast as I can. So, I've got Lando with Trusted Agent, so we can give a free order to Ahsoka or Sabine, especially when Ahsoka plays her 1 pip or Sabine plays her 1 pip. You can also give an order to the other. Ahsoka's going to have Force Reflexes, Burst of Speed, Strike Team Leader, and Tenacity, because Ahsoka Tano having Retinue with a Mando unit, giving them a free dodge or aim, and allowing them to provide backup for Ahsoka is really good. Sabine's going to have Mission Objective, Electro Grappling Line, Extra Supplies, and Darksaber, again, so that way you can get that free Electro Grappling Line back without recovering. I've got a Rebel Vets with the whole squad dug in and targeting scopes. Trying out, the entirety of Dug In and the Rebel Veteran Squad as a whole, giving the whole unit heavy cover with red dice is so good. Or even light cover with red dice is really, really good. 2 Fleet Troopers with the shotgun. You've got 2 Rebel Troopers with the SX-21, which is just the 2 red, 2 white at range 2, impact 1. So you got lots of ways to impact and critical. You have a Mark II. You've got 1 Mandalorian resistance with the Best God, mission objective, emergency stims, and the jetpack. And then you have Clan Wren with mission objectives and emergency stims and the jetpack. So now you've got some long range here. You've got some range 4, I should say, with the jetpacks on both of them and the Rebel Vets. You've got lots of ways to get critical and impact between the SX-21, the CMO-93, and the Mark II. You've got mission objectives on both of these guys because you don't want to spend the aim when you're rolling because you want to spend it for lethal, and or you're probably going to spend it for long shot. And you're going to want to spend it for long shot if you're at range 3 of a unit when you're using the jetpack rockets, because you have the rando, because there's only 3 people in here. The rando can use the jetpack, giving you blast and at least impact 1. Tristan is also going to shoot at range 3. So now you're going to add another 2 black. So you're now rolling a red, 2 black, suppressive, impact 1, lethal 1, and then Ursa is going to roll a rainbow at range 3 when you spend that aim. So now you're rolling, 2 red, 3 black, and a white. So 6 dice at range 3, a surge to hit, impact, expressive. And if now you have the ability to re-roll 1. And then the next turn you're probably going to get, and if you took an aim and you had a retinue aim, well, now you can actually spend that for impact 1 and lethal 1s to gain that pierce. So really good to have that mission objective on there. That way you can not have to spend the aim to reroll something. Especially for this one, spending the aim if you wanted to with Duelist to reroll, and then maybe if one blanks still, you at least have the mission objective. So that is this one. It's 11 activations. Lando is going to be able to guidance the Rebel veterans and or the Mark II really well. And then you've got Fleet Troopers that he can guidance to get that free move if he has to. And then you've also got one step ahead to be able to get Sabine, Ahsoka, or the Rebel veteran, or Fleet Troopers, I should say, to free move. There's so many ways to get these guys as close as possible, especially with the Darksaber and Ahsoka. So, yeah, there. And all the lists will be in the descriptions down below. You've got another one with Lando with Trusted Agent, again for the same reason. Sabine's going to have Up Close and Personal this time, Prepared Supplies, the Grappling Line, and the Darksaber. So a little bit different, making her a little bit more defensive than anything else. You have Jyn with Inspiring Presence to get her Courage 3 bubble everywhere. And Strike Team Leader to give her retinue with some sleeper cells. And then to give them a free dodge. And then they move, get a free dodge and an aim. So now they've got 2 dodges and an aim. Or you give them another aim. But I've found you never need to give them 2 aims because 1 aim is perfectly enough. But I always have to play up against them. All right, so you have 2 Fleet Troopers with a shotgun and an astromech and environmental gear, so that way nothing slows them down from charging. You've got 2 Rebel Trooper cells with the astromechs as well. So you have 4 astromechs in total and 2 SX-21s. You've got 2 sleeper cells with the astromech and situational awareness because one of them's going to have retinue with Jyn. And when you move, you're going to be able to get a ton of dodges. So that's another thing. I know I've said this a lot of times. I don't know if everyone has seen all those videos, but basically, if you're force pushed, it's considered a move with the astromech. So when this unit ends a move, a force push is a move, a disembark from an AA5 is a move, and then a scout is a move. So there's lots of ways for you to get dodges if you're within range 1 of an objective token. So yeah, you can do a lot with that. And then you've got 2 AA5 speeder trucks. One's going to have a door gunner, Shriv, to hand out even more dodges, especially to another sleeper cell that doesn't have the retinue. And then you've got the quad laser and the spotter uplink. And then you've got another one with the door gunner, unstable astromech to be able to shoot again. And then you have the outer rim speed jockey to give you at least cover 1, so this one lasts a little bit longer, especially since you're going to be trying to shoot after rolling for the astromech. And then you have the quad laser and spotter uplink as well on this one. So from what I've understand, and Grant clarified with a forum post, is that the spotter uplinks will stack. So you'll go from sharpshooter 1 to sharpshooter 2 if you're not engaged, which these guys will never ever be engaged in melee. So basically, if you can get both speeder trucks in range 1 of something, then the sleeper cells will have anywhere between sharpshooter 1 and sharpshooter 2, and the Yeah, the fleet troopers can also make sure to have sharpshooter 1 or sharpshooter 2, especially with all the white dice they're rolling. Sabine giving sharpshooter 1 2 with her is going to be even better. Not having to roll for that cover. And then Lando can always hand out an order to Sabine or Jin, especially if Jin really needs it. But Jin having independent move, you might not want to give her that order, so you give it to Sabine. It just kind of depends. But this is another 11 activation list, but you've got quite the speeder trucks giving out a lot of firepower along with the sleeper cells. So again, you can put the sleeper cells in the trucks or the fleet troopers because again, each disembark gives the rebel sleeper cell a dodge. So that way, when they're done disembarking, they can go ahead and have that while they're out there. And if they had retinue, they'd have 2 dodges. And then if you're with Shriv, you go ahead and give them another one. So lots of amazing ways to keep these rebel sleeper cells alive until they reach their intended target and completely wipe them out. Now, you've got one with Leia. We've got a few with Leia, so we'll go over a few of these. And I think this is the one that I made, and then I'll go over one that Grant, and then Graham made, and then I'll make over one more that doesn't have a specific commander. It's going to have a field commander. So you have Leia with improvised orders and trusted agent. You've got Sabine with clairvoyance. So again, a little bit different. Force reflexes, tenacity, and into the fray. So that way she's alive for a lot longer and can do as much damage as possible. Sabine's going to have mission objective, grappling line, prepared supplies, and dark saber. So a little different. Again, trying to make the best of defense and a little bit of token generation / re-rolling and still having a grappling line. You've got 2 fleet troopers with the shotgun. You've got 2 rebel troopers with the ion trooper this time, so a little different. Still providing you with a critical 1, impact 1, ion 1. So that's really nice to have when you don't surge offensively. 2 rebel sleeper cells with the astromech. You've got the Mandalorian resistance with Tristan, Ursa, mission objective, and jetpack rockets. And I know that this one doesn't have Clan Wren, so you don't necessarily have to worry about anything like that. But here, if you wanted to get rid of maybe like a sleeper cell or something along those lines to put Clan Wren in there instead, you totally could, because let's see, sleeper cell is 91 right now. Mandalorian resistance with all of the things is 109, but I'm sure if you took, let's see, 30, that's 60, 98 compared to 91, so you're 7 points. You could easily get rid of that with environmental gear, and maybe because that's another 4 points right there, so that would give you to 95, and then you're missing 3 points. You could get rid of a spotter uplink if you wanted to, or if you needed to get rid of the unstable astromech, you could, but then you could change out one of the sleeper cells with Clan Wren, actually giving you the ability to have 2 different retinues on there and some really fast things. Oh, I guess you'd have to get rid of something else. Oh yeah, I said the environmental gear, get rid of both of them, leaving you with 3 points. Maybe you wouldn't have, if you got rid of 2 more points somewhere. All right, maybe, well, those are already 13. Strike team leaders can be so good, and you can't really do anything else with prepared supplies. Up close and personal, I guess if you wanted to trade up close and personal for a mission objective, you could. And then that would give you the extra 5 points, so at least bring the jetpack rockets. And so, yeah, that changes a few things, but with prepared supplies, electro grappling line, and mission objective on Sabine, it can make it a little less defensive, but again, you're doing something with strike team leaders and retinue. And then with the Mandalorian resistance on this one, having mission objective and jetpacks, and then you have another AA5 speeder truck with the door gunner, Shriv, and the quad laser to be able to give out some dodges to the Mandos or sleeper cells. And Ahsoka doesn't have, the strike team leader, so you don't get anything with the sleeper cells, but at least you have a retinue with the Mandalorian resistance here. Still generating a lot of tokens. Still 11 activations. All right, so we go to this one right here, which is, I think, my tweaked version of the list that Grant proposed, and I'll go over it as well. So Leia's going to have improvised, trusted agent, and prepared supplies so that she has an extra dodge for exemplar. And then you've got Ahsoka with burst of speed, reflexes, strike team leader into the fray, so that she gets again a unit to give an extra aim or dodge to. Sabine's gonna have up close, electro grappling line, extra supplies in the dark saber, so that way she can bring back that extra that grappling line one more time. And then she still has some defensive tech with up close and personal, so that way you kind of get the best of both worlds. You've got 2 fleet troopers with an astromech and the shotgun. You've got 1 trooper with the SX-21. You have 2 Mandalorian resistance with the jetpack, the best god, and mission objective. And then you've got the Clan Wren with mission objective and jetpack rockets. Again, making them their offensive capabilities a little bit more powerful. And then you have 2 ATRTs with both with spotter, uplink, and both of them. I put the rotary blaster or the flamethrower. It doesn't matter, all 15 points. You can flavor it how you want, but 5 black dice, range 3, fixed front, surging to crit is really nice. And the fact that you're going to have scout is also going to help get you in a little closer. And that spotter uplink can really do some work with the Mandos, being able to have them have some sharpshooter. Again, with the Sabine or Ahsoka. Oh, Ahsoka's not going to worry about sharpshooter, but yeah, Sabine or any of the core, getting the extra stuff is really nice. And so, yeah, it just different flavors for Sabine and Ahsoka, and the fact that you can give the Mandalorians an extra token is so nice. And you have 3 units that are all, you have 4 Mando units and you have Ahsoka, so you have 5 units with red saves on here. And Leia trying to give them as many dodges as possible to begin with. You've got another one that Graham gave. And he's got Leia with improvised and trusted agent, Sabine with strike team leader, electro grappling line, the combat shield, and the dark saber. So a lot different, but still good. Jyn Erso with environmental gear, so that again she's not hindered with her independent move or any other moves. 4 naked rebel troopers. You've got a Mandalorian resistance with best god, emergency sims, and the jetpack. And then you've got 2 units with retinue with Sabine. So as long as so you've got 3 units that are going to be staying together and trying to flank or do really well, all at speed 3. You've got an Ewok Slinger squad with the full squad and Forest Dwellers to be able to get that extra Scout 1 and dodge at the start of the first activation phase. You've got Clan Wren with emergency stims and jetpack rockets to make sure that they stay alive a little bit longer, along with the other Mandalorian resistance squad. And then you've got a T-47 airspeeder with Wedge, the power harpoon, spotter uplink, and strike and fade. So making sure you're really getting across the board. And the other one is basically the same, except with the hotshot pilot and giving you sharpshooter 1, which is again really, really good on the airspeeder when you're shooting at non heavies, basically non-armored units. And the strike and fade is going to be really good on these guys, being able to compulse move, aim, shoot, and then do a free move again. So you're still moving across the board, zipping very fast, especially at speed 3. So you've got a ton of speed 3 units, and I have no doubt that with the battle plans, they're probably going to call for destroy enemy base for sure. And even breakthrough could be good. Shifting priorities would be really great. Recover the research are definitely going to make it. Intercept, actually, yeah, those 3 are going to be really, really good. And let's see, for grants kind of stuff, we've got some battle plans here: close the pocket, bunker, and breakthrough. And all of them have the different objectives in case you're interested, again, in the description down below. Close the pocket, bunker, assault, and breakthrough is going to be really good for Mandos, again, because of speed 3, helping to get into that middle. Then you've got bunker assault, because you've got a lot of special forces, again, generating a lot of tokens to stay alive, and being able to move super fast and keep your opponent on the defense. And then you've got breakthrough, because, again, you've got some super fast units at range 2 guns, and you're going to be able to move really fast onto the board and immediately start shooting. So being able to retinue and aim at the very, very beginning is going to help those Mandos hopefully destroy anything, because all of your units are surging to hit except for your core. So, well, your rebel troopers, I should say. Your fleet troopers are definitely going to be good. With the ATRTs, being able to scout on and then move and shoot with surge to crit 5 black is so good too. So yeah, and so destroy enemy base is always going to be good with Mandos because they can move so fast. And yeah, that is these. And the last list is a one that I put together that is having a field commander instead of a normal commander. Ahsoka's going to have force reflexes, burst of speed, strike team, and tenacity. Sabine up close and personal, grappling line, extra supplies, and darksaber. Again, giving her the best of both worlds here. 2 fleet troopers with the scattergun, 1 trooper unit with the SX-21. You have 2 Mandalorian resistance with emergency stems, and the best guy duelists and jetpacks. You've got Clan Wren with the E-stems and the jetpacks. So you've got all your Mandos having emergency stems. You've got a door gunner, a backworld medic, so a little bit different, and then Shriv to hand out some more dodges to the probably to one of your Mando squads, and then you have the quad laser on it, so you're doing a lot of work with the quad laser and door gunner, and then this land speeder. So I put the rocket gunner on there, the unstable astromech to give out another attack, Rider Azadi to be able to move farther, basically speed 3, so that way you can really get where you need to get and then shoot, or really get where you need to get, aim, shoot all your stuff, then use strike and fade to move again, and then because that now is the end of your activation, you're probably in range of another unit where you can now use the astromech and strike at them, doing a ton of different damage to 2 different units, and that could be really, really well for damage output. And then the door gunner on the AA5 doing a ton of damage. And then you've got the Ion Blaster and Spotter Uplink to be able to give Sharpshooter to maybe even the AA5 if you haven't gone with the AA5, or Sharpshooter to the Mandos, anything like that. And you're probably going to, in the bus, you could probably bring one of the Fleet Troopers. You could also maybe bring one of the Mandos units. But it's a 10 activation list. You've got a ton of firepower in it, so it's not so many bodies as, a 12 activation Rebel list would be. But this one's still very good and still has a lot to offer with the 10 activations. So if you've got any other recommendations, feel free to kind of use these as an outline and recreate a list that you like. But these are different types of Sabine builds, and I think she goes well with Ahsoka. And, especially with Leia and Ahsoka, if you're thinking about command cards, I thought Family Reunion would be good, and No Time for Sorrows, because now you're getting a ton of movement in for free. And so using that with, again, close the pocket, bunker assault, and breakthrough, giving you a ton of movement, destroy the enemy base. This could also be good for shifting priorities or recover the research, being able to do a free move outside of your activation, so that way you have the ability to aim and shoot, or do what you need to do to get tokens instead of having to move. These 2 are absolutely amazing. Plus, you're giving the 2 orders that you really need to your units that need the order first, like Ahsoka and Sabine, for obvious reasons. But being able to make a speed 2 move is super good. And go with them when you can, because if they're in melee, I don't think you'd be able to do that speed 2 move. But I could be wrong. But you can put that in the comments down below. So I hope that was not too fast. I didn't want to go too crazy. I wanted to get through them all because I thought they were all good and really fun. I know I said I was going to go 3, but I didn't. But yeah, if you're looking for objectives, I think Close the Pocket, Bunker Assault, Breakthrough, Recover, they're all great with Mandos because they're all so fast. And then definitely Destroy the Enemy Base is really, really good. And then Garrison could be amazing to have when you're not bringing the AA5, or you're putting something else like the sleeper cells and maybe a fleet trooper in the bus, and then you got one more fleet trooper that could have the garrison. So now all of your really close range units that aren't fast are already on the board, or about to be farther up the board. So that way you can kind of shoot with them first and kind of do as much damage as possible. And the fact that you're rolling basically almost 2 dice per mini, Like you got the Mandalorian Resistance shooting 2 dice per mini, Sleeper Cells shooting 2 dice per mini, the Fleet Troopers shooting 2 dice per mini. Okay, yeah, the Rebel Troopers ain't, but what you gonna do? It's a good cheap option there, and you've got lots of astromechs to make sure that these AA5s that are shooting like crazy stay alive, because they're definitely going to need to stay alive with how much of the upgrade you put on them, and being able to keep alive a unit that's also going to give you Sharpshooter 1 is so good. So I highly recommend it on vehicles, putting that spotter uplink. Obviously, they can go on Mandos, especially if you're like jumped up onto a building and no one can get into melee with you, because the top of the roof is either, height 2 and no one can get there, or if it's small enough to where only your minis fit on there and then no one can engage you. So now, but you're at range 1 of a lot of different units. It can work. But yeah, let me know down in the comments which list is your favorite, and make sure you're subscribed to be able to possibly win these amazing ComScan order tokens. Feel free to join the Discord, where you can contribute a lot of different stuff to the Discord, and give us some ideas of things that you want to see in this game. But yeah, that's it, guys. All right, hope that you all enjoyed it, and I hope that this was a video that helps you make some decisions for Sabine. And yeah, all right, guys, y'all take it easy. May the force be with you, and take it easy.